So here's some common mistakes people make when doing this process and things you may run into that I want you to avoid. First mistake, obviously, is offering too high, and that's just not knowing your market, not understanding what is a good price and what isn't. I try to stay below, at the most, 70% of the estimated retail value or ARV or whatever it would cost, whatever the property would sell for in its highest and best condition. You usually want to try to stay below 70% of that. So if the house is worth $100,000 fixed up, you typically don't want to offer more than $70,000 because your end buyer is going to want to turn around and sell it fast. So if the market is selling at $100,000, it's usually 90 days. He's going to want to list it for $90,000 so he can do a fast close. Usually, an investor wants to list his property at below market so he can turn around and sell it fast. They don't want to hold these properties for a long time. They usually want to get it fixed up, come in, do their work, make their money quick so they're on to the next one. So no more than 70%, but when you start seeing these deals, you're going to start getting them at a lot less than that. But know if you have a good deal, know your market, know these appraised values, and make sure you're under 70% of that. And then you still have to know what's going to be included in repairs, and take all that into consideration. That's another thing you got to look out for, but not giving yourself enough time. Sometimes you'll write a contract and they'll say they want the cash, in 7 days, and you don't already have a buyer's list, and you write your contract for closing in 7 days, and you don't find a buyer in your first 5 days, then you have to cancel out the contract. So even though you can tell them you can close in 3 to 7 days, usually still write the contract, give yourself at least 30 days. They usually don't even care, pay any attention to that. Another common mistake is blabbermouth. This is giving too much information to the seller or to the buyer. Sometimes you can talk yourself out of the deal by giving more information than they actually need. I'm not saying hide relevant information like the house is on a sinkhole or anything like that. I mean talking about your actual numbers and what you're going to make and things like that. That should just be sense, but certain things to keep separate as part of the deal. Picking a dead neighborhood. This one is huge. You may look like on paper you have a really good deal, and most houses are selling for $150,000, and you've got it under contract for $20,000, and you'll wonder why you can't find a buyer. Well, sometimes you can have a really nice neighborhood if you're just searching by zip code, but you can cross. You've ever been in those neighborhoods where you can cross one street and you're like, whoa, where did I just end up? So sometimes you can be just on the other side of the tracks, and it's a neighborhood price is. It's just not the right neighborhood. And I can show you how to make sure you're picking the right neighborhood so that doesn't happen. Another common mistake I don't want you to fall into is getting wrapped up in one deal. You get so invested and worried about this one deal that if it doesn't close, you just totally collapse and get all emotional wrapped up. Know that if you're doing this, you're going to have so many deals coming at you that you don't want you causing any stress and trying to force any deal. If it doesn't look like it's going to go through, so what? Trash it, go into the next one. It didn't cost you anything. You don't have any of your money in the deal. You're not losing anything. Your sanity is worth more than anything. Toss it, go on to the next one. Don't get too wrapped up fighting for one deal because that time could have been spent closing on another one. The other one is giving up too soon. As with any new thing people they try it. I don't want you to try it not long enough and then give up. So don't go and send out 20 mailers and call 2 buyers and say, oh, this process doesn't work, because I guarantee you this process has worked and has been working for years and will always work for years to come. It doesn't matter what the market is doing. people will always be looking for deals on properties. I don't care if they say the market is absolutely bad. If you had the property under contract for $1, someone, and all the rest of the houses are selling for $50, someone would buy it. So know that this is going to work no matter what, no matter where you're at, no matter what the situation. If it's a neighborhood where people are buying houses and people are sleeping, this will work. All you're going to do is find people who want to sell at a good deal, and then you're going to put them in contact with a buyer who wants to buy properties at a good deal. That's it. You can do that anywhere at any time. So another common mistake is not collecting your deposit. Sometimes you're happy you have the price of the property under contract, and you send everything to closing, but you never got a deposit. So come the end of the 30 days, the buyer decides they have another property they want to move on, and they walk away from the deal. Well, if you didn't collect the deposit, they just walk away. You're just out all of that time, and you didn't make anything. So remember to collect. Write in your contract that specifies that the title will not open without the deposit, and make it non-refundable. So that way, if they walk away, you still get the deposit for you. You get to keep that deposit. And final mistake is getting cut out of the deal. Now, if you don't do this properly, if you don't follow the exact steps in the system I have, without doing this the exact way, the buyer, it's possible for them to end up somehow meeting your seller and then just going directly to them and cutting out of the deal. It will happen, and if you don't do the paperwork exactly perfect, it's possible that you could get cut out of some of your deals. So I want to help you to avoid all of that, but that is the process for how you can easily make $10,000 in 60 days or less with real estate without using any of your money, any credit, without even seeing the properties, without even going in them. You can do this. You can literally do this. So you know this process works, and you would like to streamline this process to pretty much guarantee, if you're serious about this and you could use an extra $10,000 in 60 days, and you would like to move forward and start working on this today, I have a way where you can streamline this process.